Wonderful, wonderful. We're going to start with this next session. And this session is going to actually be a game of two halves. So it's going to be a little bit about positivity and how to be a leader. But this session is also going to touch on adversity. And Fern's been incredibly brave today in coming and talking about her experiences, some of which might well resonate with a few of you. As with everything we have in the Female Leaders Bar, this is a safe space and this is a place where we can talk about issues that do affect women. But we're going to start with something a little bit more uplifting just to start with. So Fern, can you just introduce yourself to everybody here?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Julia. I really appreciate it. My name's Fern Potter. I'm the VP of Product and Partnerships at Multilocal Media. I've been in the advertising industry for 16 years, and I've had the pleasure of working across multiple media agencies. I made the leap into ad tech about a year ago, which I've definitely enjoyed that difference in terms of the opportunity that it's given me and that lease of life that it's given me within a product and partnership role. But I have to say I did really enjoy my 16 years at media agency. I think the breadth and the depth of experience that you can get from a media agency kind of crisscross your career and your opportunities across them has given me a lot of growth and a lot of experience that I can finally bring to the table in this new role. So, yeah.
And I've known you for a long time, and I've seen how much you've completely flourished as a female leader. What do you love about it? Because I think it's important to show that being a leader is something to really enjoy. What do you love about it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic opportunity to work with so many inspiring individuals across the industry, and I think that's women and that's men as well, to be able to bring to the forefront different talents, different experiences, and everybody's kind of unique take on opportunities that we have within the industry. What I've loved the most is the people that I get to meet and the network that I've built across my career over the last 16 years. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm always learning, which I think is a really important thing. Katie touched on it in a talk before. But that opportunity for mentorship and advocacy within the network that you built, it really does provide such a stable environment and an inspiring environment for people, young women and anybody that's coming into the industry to really flourish. So it's been a fascinating period of my career.
And I think you touched on there about networks and community, and this is where Fern and I were talking about sharing today and going in a little bit, because a year ago Fern was in a very, very different place. And it was the networks and it was the communities that were able to really help you. Fern, do you want to just share a bit, however much you're comfortable in sharing about your experience?
I'll try not to break down. It's like say to Julia before, who knows, tears may come. I was in an unfortunate, I suffered a trauma last year that was really actually limited and ended my career at the time. It was a very difficult transition because I love my job. I really do. I love advertising, no matter how much people kind of talk about the different responsibilities that we have and the environment that we work in. I'm so passionate about everything from, a programmatic bid stream up until doing kind of global corporate strategy. And when I went through this incident last year, it really did limit my ability to work. I took most of last year off. But I was really fortunate, and with Julia as well, I was very fortunate in the network that I'd built and the career that I've had over time, that these wonderful women and the real opportunity that I've got in the work that I do now help support me. I could call upon them in a safe space to really enable me to come back into the workforce, to get that confidence back. I know I'm shaking now. Trust me, I have got some confidence. It's just quite tricky to talk about. To be able to bring that light back and that passion that I thought I'd lost. And honestly, the amount of joy I get from my career, it was a really difficult decision to not be able to do it and to worry that I might not be able to come back into this environment. So we had some fantastic conversations, as I have done with a lot of the network and the women that I'm fortunate to work with. They provided a safe space, a comforting, shoulder to cry on, but also that, Fern, you've got this. You can do this. You've got that experience. Take your time. Take your time to go back into networking and bring yourself back into these social environments. And put your big girl pants on sometimes and just fucking do it. Get out there and talk, because I do love what I do, and I didn't want that passion to die. So it's been, it was a big learning curve for me. And although I struggle to talk about it now, I really noticed in myself this resilience and strength, and the power of the people and the network that you build is so important, because you can really lean into people when you need them the most, and that's gold. You know, we're really fortunate. You don't always have that opportunity to do so. So I'm very grateful, and I can only hope that in my kind of development, I'm still going through it, as you can tell, I'm up here shaking like a leaf, that I can start giving back into the network that just gave me so much. It gave me my life back, gave me my career back, and I'm so grateful for that.
And I say, can we just give Fern, not just a big round of applause, but it's I was here with her 1 year ago when I sort of encouraged her to join a panel, because I've known Fern before and I've known after, and I'd seen how devastating it was. But actually the main thing is taking baby steps, but being very, very brave. And she was very, very brave a year ago and has been throughout the last year. And I do think as well, like this environment, part of the reason for having a female leaders bar is this is a female space. It's welcoming to men, but equally it is a place that we feel safe in. And when we were in Cannes recently, we created a Women in Cannes group. There was a WhatsApp group to provide, there was 380 women in it in the end, but safe space to, if you had a problem, if you needed anything, they were right there. One thing I'd say, take what Fern said. There are communities and networks out there to lean in on and support you. From your experience, and you mentioned obviously networks and communities and being brave really helped you. What would be a bit of advice of anything else you can think of that helped you, say if anybody else here is going through something like that, some bit of advice?
I'm not a professional in any means, but taking your time and actually knowing that I was really conscious, because I thought, being outside of that network, then how do you get back in? And your imposter syndrome actually grows and grows during that time that you're really focusing inwards on yourself to get your health back. I was constantly concerned about the fact that I might have kind of distanced myself from the group of people that I needed the most. And I think actually giving yourself that time, giving yourself allowance to go through grief and sort your health out, but also to understand that the people are there and the network is there, and you get encouraging words, you get affirmation, you get a lot of advocacy from it. Time, I'm so impatient. I'm curious-minded, and I think, time was the biggest learning I had, to give yourself here, because then you can come back. And I would say that I feel like a much stronger version of myself having gone through this, that actually I can be really authentic in the way that I lead, in the way that I speak, in the way that I connect with others, that perhaps I wasn't previously. So if anything good comes from it, I feel better than ever. Might not look it right now, because it's brave, and thank you.
So one thing as well, Fern has said to me, and I have the pleasure of working with the men at Multilocal, where Fern works with James Lever and Simon Reed, and you said that you're so lucky that you've found a company, and the men that lead that company are so supportive. What is it that impresses them for you, and what is it that other men in the industry should do and could do to do what you've received? To kind of
do you know what? They have been an absolute light, I would say, through this journey of bringing back confidence and making sure that that I've got a safe space to work in, that I can fulfill my opportunity, fulfill my potential that I've got as a female leader, and as just like somebody who loves the advertising space. So they've created such an honest working environment where I can be completely 100% genuine. We all have our good days and we all have our bad days, and we all go through traumas in different shapes and sizes. And I think having that support from a network of wonderful individuals, just to be open and honest about that, has been really so beneficial in terms of getting my career back on track. So I couldn't have asked for anything more from them. And also, as I'd say with anybody, here in the leadership teams that you have, that support and making sure that safe space is there so that you have people that you can go and talk to is really important. That's why diversity and female representation on leadership teams is really important as well, because it can just permutate and make the business a lot better. I think we have occasionally taken for granted that there's definitely issues that women might not feel comfortable talking to men about. So in this instance, I'm very fortunate. They have been completely supportive of my career and grown my confidence, and also given me like a kick up the ass when I needed to as well, and say, yeah, come on, you can do this, let's go. And so I've grown so much in a year thanks to them, and obviously thanks to the women here today.
And I think as well, I want to make this point that there are so many good people out there, so many good leaders, so many good companies. If any of you are experiencing toxic workplaces, you don't have to. Just don't. Please don't. In my 30 years of working in this industry, I get so angry when I hear stories about toxic leaders. Please reach out if you want. Well, either reach out, talk about it, make sure you've got a community around you, but you don't have to put up with it. There's a lot of incredibly empathetic leaders out there and companies and people. And I wanted to ask this to you, Fern, what did you feel was the main thing that lifted you up, and how can people be more empathetic?
Yeah. It's tricky. I mean, it's considering, I think we've all heard that analogy about the iceberg. You know, you see the tip of it in the workplace with the individuals, with the people that you work with on a daily basis, with the people that you're networking with on a daily basis. So I think there's having that empathy to consider that there's always something going on in our lives above and beyond what we bring to work. And I think that's, having consideration around that. If people's, performance changes or their attitude might change, we ebb and flow. And I think just being really understanding that this is a small part of what you see as from your individuals, your teammates and colleagues on a regular basis. So that empathy is so key, and just working in a kind environment is so much nicer. You know, if you put your heart and soul into the work that you're doing, and you're curious and you're excited by what the opportunities are, you want to do that in an environment where there's real mutual respect. And that starts from within. I think
totally
it's really
does.
exciting.
Do what brings you joy and surround you with people that make you smile every day.
Yeah.
If you could look back, Fern, and go, what would you say as advice to your younger self? I asked the question at the start of today of those starting out on their journey, and there's a lot of people that are just starting out in their careers. I can see a few of you still here. Yeah. What would you say to your younger self?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm still my younger self. Do you know what you're trying to say? No. Look, I think it's a whirlwind out there, and it's changing completely. And I think that's what I love about our industry, is that actually you can go in so many directions. Be curious. Don't be afraid to take risks. There's a lot of kind of maybe stigma around chasing titles and promotion, but actually the lateral development that you can get from advertising, because there's so many pockets in advertising and media that you can go into. Just explore them all. Have a good time doing it. Meet really great people. Get rid of the ones that are shitty. You know, there's a lot of opportunity to network and build your own brand within a business or within different businesses as well. So don't be afraid to explore that, whether it be lateral development and learning something new, as well as just career progression. We always see it as an upward motion, but I think it's definitely an opportunity to kind of broaden outwards. So just be curious, and also, like I said, but you can be choosy as well. So yeah, that's my advice.
I think that's so true, and I want to thank Fern so much for being so honest, so brave.
I
Fern
really appreciate the
Potter, can we all give a massive round of applause? It's so important for everybody to be a little bit more honest, a little bit more truthful, and also show that out of a huge adversity comes happiness and joy and follows on. So please note that. So thank you so much, Fern, and thank you to all of you. There is a small break now from this floor. At 2 o'clock, there is at the Brand Innovation stage, I'm moderating a panel that's Leap and Lead, a blueprint to being a female founder. So for anyone here who wants to be a female founder, that's a session for you. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Fern.